And then you have organic chemistry is the study of carbon and its compounds, that you all know because you've done it last year. What does a definite proportion means? That in nature, whatever compound you have, it has the elements mixing in a definite proportion. Okay, like for example, अगर मैं Al और O को combine कर रही हूँ तो it will be what? It will be a ratio of say 2:3. लेकिन ये भी कैसे आया? अगर मैं इनका रेसिप्रोकल रिलेशन कैसे लेती हूँ? ये क्या है?
बिफोर वी बिगिन विजिट कीजिए iitwalebaba.com पे। यहाँ से आप फिजिक्स और मैथ्स के हैंड रिटन नोट परचेज कर सकते हैं अपने बोर्ड, जेई, बिटसेट या फिर किसी भी इंजीनियरिंग कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम की प्रिपरेशन के लिए बहुत ही कम प्राइजेस में। डाउनलोड कीजिए IIT वाले बाबा ऐप फ्रॉम गूगल प्ले स्टोर और व्हाट्सएप ऑन अस 7974122749 फॉर मोर इन्फॉर्मेशन।
Chemistry. Okay, being science students, you know the importance of physics, chemistry and maths. You'll be doing all three. I mean precisely I will be taking up a topic of chemistry to begin with for the first time. But as you know, chemistry has actually got three branches, right? To be precise, what you are basically going to deal with is inorganic chemistry. Then you have organic chemistry, and you will be having, not writing it completely, inorganic. Then you will have organic chemistry and you will have physical chemistry. You should at least understand the meanings of these basic terms and branches of chemistry, because inorganic chemistry will be dealing with all the elements apart from carbon and its compounds. Okay, and like you have the periodic table, you all have seen the periodic table. You have around 119 elements in your periodic, 18 or 19 elements in your periodic table. So in that, all the elements are being talked about in your inorganic chemistry. Speak up, because then you will stay awake. And then you have organic chemistry is the study of carbon and its compounds, that you all know because you've done it last year. And then physical chemistry is basically that branch of chemistry that is dealing with fundamental principles. Wherever you have a quantitative relationship, quantitative means आप उसको लिख के कोई mathematical relation में डाल सकते हो. Okay, so wherever you have any quantitative relationship or a mathematical relationship which can actually give you some expression which can explain your reasoning, so there you have physical chemistry. And of course you are doing physics. You know, physics deals with a lot of numericals, a lot of expressions, so it deals with physical aspects of chemistry. You understand that? Otherwise, there are many more branches of chemistry that you would take up as you proceed further in science. You will have analytical chemistry, which talks about quantitative and qualitative relationships in sciences, and you will be taking up practicals also in school, where you will deal with titrations to begin with. Have you all done titrations in school? Yes. You've started? Very nice. So the concept that we're going to talk about is nothing but the mole concept today. I'm here to talk about the mole concept, and you've partly read about it before also, but we'll just make ourselves acclimatized to the basic situations, because we'll just recapitulate what you've done before also. But to begin with, where does all this come from? All this is related to atoms, elements and other things. And when we talk about atoms, the very basic theory that was given up was the Dalton's atomic theory, and then you've done others as well. Let's talk about the Dalton's atomic theory, which actually talks about that matter is just indivisible. This is what he talked about in about 1808. And then you had the Bohr's model that was given in 1913. So I'm not going into the details of all those models, but then based upon he did talk about matter. Now when you talk about matter, you know that it can be existent in three states. What are those three states? You will have solids, liquids and gases. Alright, when you talk about solids, you know that what is the criteria. Now you are science students, you should be able to give a reasoning. What is a solid? Anything that is hard is not just solid. You have to give an explanation like forces of attraction, the intermolecular forces are much higher than the thermal energy. दो चीजें होंगी, एक डोमिनेंट होगा, जो भी डोमिनेंट होगा उसकी वजह से स्टेट्स ऑफ मैटर फॉर्म होगी. If the forces of attraction are much higher than the thermal energy, it is basically your solid state. If the forces of attraction are much lesser than your thermal energy, then it is the gaseous state. And in liquid state, you know, it is like intermediate between these two. It lies in between these two, so you can actually compare the forces of attraction at times with thermal energy also. Okay, this is like an important thing that you've already done before. Then apart from it, you can also talk about matter to be in the form of, depending upon the kind of purity, you can talk about matter to be made up of pure substances, and you can have mixtures. When you talk about pure substances, in pure substances you can have your elements, the basic elements that you talk about, and you can also have compounds. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. I mean, now we are going to actually quantitatively check out some of the relationships which actually talk about the quantity of the matter. That is what is going to be done today. But before that, there are some important laws also which you need to revise from your previous concepts, and we'll just quickly go through them. One of them is the law of conservation of mass. This is a very important law, law of conservation of mass. What is that law? That mass can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can change from one form to another. No, mass can neither be created nor destroyed, and it remains constant throughout. So now here, when we talk about a chemical reaction, in a chemical reaction, if I am saying that A plus B is giving C plus D, now here if I have to talk about the mass, I am not talking about energy. You all started talking about the law of conservation of energy. Now when I talk about the law of conservation of mass, I mean to say, in chemistry, what does it mean? That the mass of the reactants will be equal to the mass of the products. Just remember that in case if it is 50-40 here, it may be 30-70, but the total mass will remain a constant. So when you talk about the law of conservation of mass in chemistry, you actually, in terms of chemical reactions, you can actually state that the mass of the reactants will always be equal to the mass of the products. Now if the mass of the product, sometimes you find out, you are say preparing something and you find out that the mass of the product is less, then don't think that you have discovered something new. There may be some side product which is actually escaped. Probably it may be a gas, or it may be in a liquid state or vapor state. I mean, generally in a volatile liquid or a vapor state, which may go away from the mixture, and then you will have only the product which will have low mass. Otherwise, the law of conservation of mass will always hold good. Another law that you've talked about is the law of conservation of energy, that you know very well. That is nothing but that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be changed from one form to another form. Okay, and then we have the law of chemical combinations also, in which there is a law of definite proportions. Remember somewhat? I'll just throw light upon it. I'm not giving you any definitions for this. You have the law of definite proportions. What does it indicate? See, these laws, as far as your written examination is concerned, you will just learn them. What does a definite proportion means? That in nature, whatever compound you have, it has the elements mixing in a definite proportion. Like for example, you pick up a mug of water from your bucket or from the sea. Water will remain as H2O. So there is a definite proportion, you understand? When I am talking about definite proportions, that means that if I am talking about the combination of hydrogen and oxygen, it will always be in a definite proportion to form a particular compound that I am talking about. So it will be 2:1 always. चाहे वो पानी कहीं का भी हो, वो पानी H2O ही रहेगा. It will not change. And then there is a law of multiple proportions also, and the law of multiple proportions states that law of multiple proportions, it states that, for example, if you have two elements combining with one another, then the way in which they are going to combine, it will be only in some ratio of the whole numbers or integers. So it will be like, for example, if you are talking about the formation of Al and O, then you know the valencies. This I think you may be knowing. Al is 3 plus and O is 2 minus. So if they combine, they will be forming Al2O3. This is only a revision of what you have done before. So it will always be actually combining. Even if there are multiple more atoms also, there will always be a valency which has to be taken into account, and then you will actually form the compound. And then you have law of reciprocal relations also, and you have the other laws also that we'll just take up if in case we require. But then presently we can start straight away from the concept of gram atom or the concept of a mole. Alright, concept of the mole. I hope all of you at least remember the first 20 elements that you must have done before also. If in case you have forgotten, please, that is a very important thing you should remember. And now you should try and remember some of the atomic masses also, because this will help you in a long run. Now abhi to 11th mein ho, there is no pressure. What you can do is keep memorizing the atomic masses also as you do the numerical. जिस न्यूमेरिकल में जब जो एलिमेंट आए उसका एटॉमिक मास अगर गिवन है तो आप लर्न कर लोगे, बिकॉज मेनी अ टाइम्स इट्स नॉट गिवन इन द एंट्रेंस एग्जामिनेशन. So it is always an advisable thing to remember. The first 20 elements, please remember. Hi, he, Li, just in case if you've forgotten. I hope you remember, all of you. Please, at least the first 20 should be remembered, so that at least you know, according to the K element that you've done before, you can actually find out the valency. Now you will be doing SPDF also in times to come, but for the time being, hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron. Half of you speaking up, half of you are not speaking up. So it's like, for those of you who have forgotten, it's a very easy way out. Hi, he, libi, bo. Alright? Hi, he, libi, bo. Ka, na, o, fa, ni. This is like an easy way out to remember. Okay? Hi, he, libi, bo. Ka, na, o, fa, ni. Then you have so, ma, al, si, sulfur, chlorine, argon, potassium, calcium. Alright, these are the first 20 elements. So, if in case anyone forgets, you can always remember it as Hi, he, libi, bo, kana, of, ni, soma, alsi, for. Alright, and use it at home frequently, you know, so that anyone may feel that I don't know what language you're talking about. So, you can boast about it also. That we know something. And what language is this? Chemistry. But please make sure that the basic symbols are not altered. It is hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon, potassium, calcium. So you can find out, develop your own strategies and methodologies to develop something new, to learn your own way. Because आपने क्या करना है, पढ़ने के बाद एक बार उसको अच्छे से रिटेन करना है. अगर उसको रिटेन नहीं करा तो फिर इट विल जस्ट बी वैनिश्ड ऑफ. एंड इफ यू वांट टू रिटेन इट फॉर अ लॉन्गर टाइम तो फिर उसको एक बार देखना पड़ेगा. Okay, so now we start from the concept of the mole. The concept of mole is something that you have done before also. When we talk about a mole, there is a concept of gram atom. Okay, let me tell you, gram atom is nothing but 1 mole of an atom. Okay, gram atom is nothing but it's equivalent to this mole only. That means if I talk about 1 atom of carbon, it will have 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 atoms or particles, whatever you want to call it. So 1 mole of any substance will actually have this magical number 6.023 into 10 to 2. In many of the books, you will 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 atoms, if in case you are talking about carbon. Alright. This is the concept of the gram atom when we talk about it. Like for example, if I talk about say gram atoms of what is gram atom of chlorine equal to? Okay, that means I am talking about 1 mole of chlorine is equal to what? 10 to the power 23 atoms. Very good. All right, then in that case, what is gram atom of chlorine equal to? Grams, in grams it is 35.5. please remember it right here, right now. Okay, what is 1 gram atom of chlorine? It is 35.5 grams. Okay, now if I talk about say you remember the unitary method, एक चीज समझ लो, look up all of you, look up. 1 ग्राम एटम ऑफ क्लोरीन मतलब 1 मोल ऑफ क्लोरीन इज इक्वल टू 35.5 ग्राम्स. ठीक है, अब अगर मैं कहूँ 1 मोल ऑफ क्लोरीन दैट इज 35.5 ग्राम्स एंड आई नो इज इक्वल टू इतने एटम्स. पर अब अगर मुझे जैसे क्वेश्चन पूछा होगा मैं वैसे उसको मोल्ड करूंगी. ओके, क्वेश्चन अगर आएगा कि इतने ग्राम्स में कितने ग्राम एटम्स, तो मैं इसको इधर ले जाऊंगी. ठीक है, और अगर आएगा इतने ग्राम एटम्स का कितना वेट, तो मैं इसको इधर ले जाऊंगी. दिस इज द यूनिटरी मेथड दैट यू यूज्ड टू फॉलो इन मैथ्स. सो द सिंपल वे आउट इज इन केमिस्ट्री ऐसे डायरेक्टली लिखो. अब अगर मैं पूछूं कि व्हाट आर द नंबर ऑफ ग्राम एटम्स इन 142 ग्राम्स ऑफ क्लोरीन, number of gram atoms, I am asking you a question. What is the number of gram atoms? Okay, there is a question that what is the law of reciprocal relations in multiple proportions? That is nothing but when we actually have the combination of more than 2 elements or 2 elements, then we know that they will be actually combining in such a way that the ratio of the 2 elements will be in as a ratio of 2 whole numbers. Okay, like for example, अगर मैं Al और O को combine कर रही हूँ, तो it will be what? It will be a ratio of say 2:3. लेकिन ये भी कैसे आया? अगर मैं इनका reciprocal relation कैसे लेती हूँ? ये क्या है? Al 3+. Al की वैलेंसी कितनी? 3. ऐसे ही लिखते थे ना पहले. इसकी वैलेंसी 3, इसकी वैलेंसी 2, तो what is the formula? Al2O3. Right? If I talk about any other example, say Ca and OH, ये हाइड्रोक्साइड आयन है, इसका होता है -1 और कैल्शियम का होता है +2, तो इसका फॉर्मूला क्या होगा? Ca1OH twice. We do not have to take the charge into account here. So we actually put it like that. So all these laws actually help you in forming the compound first. सबसे पहले केमिस्ट्री में स्टार्ट करने के लिए आपको पता होना चाहिए ना क्या कंपाउंड किसका क्या फॉर्मूला. कुछ तो पहले लर्न करें, जैसे सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड क्या होता है? H2SO4. वो भी कैसे बनता है? You have H in the +1 form and SO4 is 2-. So how does it form? It is H then 2 and SO4. और you can also write it as H हो गया हमारा +1, SO4 हो गया 2-, तो फॉर्मूला क्या हो गया? H2SO4. So all these relations deal up with that. Okay. Now the question, वापस मोल कॉन्सेप्ट पे आते हैं. 1 मोल इज इक्वल टू 35.5 ग्राम्स. अब हमसे पूछ रहे हैं बताओ कितने मोल्स इन 142 ग्राम्स. तो कितने मोल्स इज द क्वेश्चन. नो, so what will we take? We'll take this 35.5 to the other side. So then in that case what will be the answer? Just calculate it quickly before I rub the board completely. Work it out without talking. पेपर में किसी ने हेल्प नहीं करनी है तो अपने आप यहीं से शुरू करो. Alright, so now when we talk about 142, so now if we have 1 gram atom is equal to 35.5 grams, this means 1 gram of Cl will be equal to 1/35.5 gram atoms, and therefore 142 grams of Cl is equal to 1/35.5 into 142, which is equal to 4 moles. 4 ग्राम एटम्स। याद रखना ग्राम एटम्स का मतलब है मोल ऑफ द एटम्स। एंड ये तो यहाँ पे अभी हम सिंपल तरीके से एक एक स्टेप में कर रहे हैं, बट आदत डाल लो कि दिमाग में रख के इसको डायरेक्टली लिख लो। इतनी प्रैक्टिस करो कि डायरेक्टली सीधा इसी स्टेप पे आओ, बीच में ये करने की जरूरत ही ना पड़े। ठीक है, उसके बाद नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन एक और लेते हैं। ग्राम एटम्स ऑन 16 ग्राम्स ऑफ ऑक्सीजन। दिस इज वेरी सिंपल। ग्राम एटम्स इन 16 grams of oxygen. Very simple. 1 gram atom of oxygen is equal to 16 grams. So how many grams? So 16 grams means 1 upon 16 gram atoms into 16, that will be 1. or else directly आंसर है ये तो। ठीक है, तो इस केस में थोड़ा थोड़ा सा एटम्स के मासेस याद रखना। देन इफ आई टॉक अबाउट नंबर ऑफ एटम्स इन 56 grams of nitrogen. Okay, now the question is calculate number of atoms in, this is a question that I am giving you, सोच के समझ के आराम से, number of atoms in 56 grams of nitrogen, and nitrogen का atomic weight is 14. So what will you do? You know 56 grams में निकालना है आपको। You know 1 gram atom is equal to 14 grams. That means how many, 1 gram atom is equal to how many atoms?
6.022.
That is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 atoms, which is equal to 14 grams. Now this relationship has come. अब हमें क्या बताना है, कितने एटम्स हैं 56 ग्राम्स ऑफ नाइट्रोजन में। तो मतलब मुझे क्या बताना, एटम्स में कौन सी साइड पे जाऊंगी, इस साइड पे। तो अगर 14 ग्राम्स में इतने एटम्स हैं तो 1 ग्राम में कितने होंगे, 14 यहाँ पे ले जाएंगे तो डिवाइड होगा। सो दैट विल बी 6.022 इंटू 10 to the power 23 डिवाइडेड बाय 14 इतने एटम्स। और अगर जब 1 ग्राम में इतने हैं तो 56 में कितने होंगे। सो इन 56 grams आई एम नॉट राइटिंग दो स्टेटमेंट्स, सो दैट विल बी दिस एंटायर थिंग इनटू 56. गॉट इट? So there are only 3 things that we have done. One is 1 gram atom is equal to, gram atom का मतलब है 1 mole of that atoms, that is equal to 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 atoms, and that is equal to the molar mass of your element that you are talking about. अब जो जैसे रिक्वायरमेंट है उसी हिसाब से हम उसको मोल्ड कर लेंगे। अब हमें पता है 1 ग्राम एटम इज इक्वल टू 14 ग्राम्स, लेकिन हमसे पूछ रहे हैं कितने एटम्स होंगे 56 में। तो व्हाट विल वी डू, हमें पता है 14 ग्राम्स में इतने एटम्स होंगे, तो 1 ग्राम में 6.022 इंटू 10 to the power 23 डिवाइडेड बाय 14, तो 56 ग्राम्स में कितने, इतने एटम्स। ओके, सिंपल 3, hardly any information. This was the basic of what you require. Okay? ऐसे ही हम 1 ग्राम मॉलिक्यूल करेंगे तो सेम कॉन्सेप्ट, जैसे एलिमेंट करे 1 ग्राम मॉलिक्यूल मतलब 1 मोल ऑफ मॉलिक्यूल। गॉट इट? तो अगर मैं 1 मॉलिक्यूल ऑफ 1 मोल ऑफ वाटर की बात करूं तो उसके अंदर कितने मॉलिक्यूल्स ऑफ वाटर है, 6.022 इंटू 10 to the power 23 मॉलिक्यूल्स। इस चीज को अच्छे से समझ लो। सेम कॉन्सेप्ट, अगर एटम्स का कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आ गया तो फिर द वर्क इज डन। नाउ 1 ग्राम मोल इज नथिंग बट, you can just write it down also, it is the collection of 6.023. 1 gram mole is nothing but it is the collection of 6.023 into 10 to the power 23 molecules of an element or an ion or an अलग ion or a compound or a compound that constitutes 1 mole of that element or ion or the compound or 1 mole of that element or ion. जैसे अगर 1 mole of एलिमेंट की बात करोगे तो उसमें 6.023 इंटू 10 टू द पावर 23 उसी एलिमेंट के पार्ट होंगे. अगर 1 कंपाउंड की बात करोगे, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल आई एम सेइंग 1 मोल ऑफ वाटर, तो उसमें कितने वाटर मॉलिक्यूल्स हैं? 6.023 इंटू 10 टू द पावर 23. और 1 मोल कितना है? जितना एक मॉलिक्यूल का मास है. समझ में आ गया? Let us take up some examples to understand it more. Okay, now look on to the screen. On the screen we have on the screen we have, first of all we are starting out with the mole concept. सारा कॉन्सेप्ट मोल का मतलब है, एक मोल का मतलब उतना मास जितना एक एलिमेंट में है या एक आयन में है या एक कंपाउंड में है. ठीक है? और उस एक एलिमेंट या एक आयन या एक कंपाउंड के कितने और भाग हैं? वी हैव 6.023 into 10 to the power 23. Got it? So that is the concept of gram atom, that is like mass of one element. Now the concept of gram mole हमने generalize कर दिया. Concept of 1 gram mole is nothing but that mole will have that magical number. Now you have to calculate the number of moles in 46 grams of sodium. What is the mass of sodium? 23. Not everybody knows that, so please remember mass of sodium. नहीं यार तो लिख लो ऊपर के, आज याद करना है. Mass of sodium is 23. So you have 46 grams. So what do we write it as? We write it as number of moles. इसका एक easy formula, बहुत easy है. That is how do you calculate the number of moles? Number of moles is equal to given mass upon molar mass. So for the first case of 46 grams of sodium, 46 grams of sodium में कितने moles हैं? Then the number of moles generally written as N. N is equal to, you will have 46 upon 23. That will be equal to 2. Similarly, for now 100 grams of chlorine, how will you do? 100 grams of chlorine. अब क्लोरीन का वेट याद रखना. व्हाट इज क्लोरीन का एटॉमिक मास? 35.5. सो Cl2 का तो 71. सो देन इन दैट केस यू विल हैव द नंबर ऑफ मोल्स टू बी इक्वल टू 100 अपॉन 71 एंड रफली कैलकुलेट करना सीख लो. दिस विल बी अराउंड 1 एंड यू विल हैव अराउंड 30, 29, सो 290 एंड यू नो 7 9s is 27. सो इट विल बी 1.9 approximately. 7 4 sorry 7 4s are 28. 7 4s are 28. So then in that case it will be 1.4. Right? Roughly just cancel it up. 71 ones are and you will have remainder as 30. And 30 mein what do you have? 7 4s are 28. So it will be approximately 1.4. So calculations also need to be speeded up like that. Okay. Next we have what do you have? 54 grams of P4. The mass of P4 is like 124. I think mass of one phosphorus atom is 31. I also tend to forget at times, but you need to give an entrance exam. So the total mass of P4 is like 124. So it will be the number of moles. I'll directly work it out. Number of moles will be equal to 54 upon 124. And just calculate it now and tell me. Hurry up. Again, you can actually just learn how to just simplify things roughly. क्योंकि MCQs में क्या होता है? I'll tell you a very important thing. When you have the MCQs, you will have 4 answers. If the answers are very close, सबसे पहले ना क्वेश्चन पढ़ने के बाद एक आंसर पे नजर जरूर मारा करो. ए बी ऐसे फ्लुक मारने के लिए नहीं, इसलिए नजर मारनी है. मतलब ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः नहीं करना. You have to actually go through the options so that once you go through the options you have an idea. अगर तो values बहुत far off है, जैसे 1.4 है, 1.6 है, 1.8 है, 1 है, तो उस केस में आप सिंप्लीफाई करके जल्दी से कैलकुलेशंस कर सकते हो. पर अगर आंसर है 0.4, 0.45, 0.48, तो उस केस में आप फिर रफली कैलकुलेट नहीं कर सकते. यू विल हैव टू गिव इट अ लिटिल मोर टाइम. So then in that case your calculations need to be speeded up in a proper precise manner. In this case I have the answer as 0.435 something. So you can just find it out. Okay, and then the last one also can be worked out quickly. Now you have 49 grams of sulfuric acid. So you should be knowing the formula also. What is sulfuric acid? It is H2SO4. Very nice. So in H2SO4, what is the mass? You will have 2 plus sulfur is 32. And oxygen is your 16, so 16 4s is 64, so that will add up to 98 grams. Okay, and that means 1 mole of H2SO4 is equal to 98 grams, and therefore you have to find it out for 49 grams of sulfuric acid. So it will be very easily done. That will be equal to 49 upon 98, so it will be 0.5. Very easy. Okay, now next, so please do not be afraid of the mole concept, and as you proceed, if you understand this, the others will also be a cakewalk, the rest of the numericals. Chemistry के numericals में there is a special thing. You will have all the values given in the question, आपको सिर्फ substitute करना है. तो free के marks, added points, IIT clear? Alright, so keep that positivity alive in your mind throughout. Okay, next what we have is the concept of the gram equivalents.